Hey guys, happy Sunday. This is the Sunday before 4th of July, so I am getting ready to do a quick 4th of July red, white, and blue nail art. It's been a while since I've done my own nails, so I figured I would just take you guys along. Hopefully I'm not too rusty on it. I haven't done my own nails in a while since I've been getting acrylics done, but I did take those off back in March or April and been just letting my nails grow out to a healthy length where they get past that little ridge that's kind of left over when you take the acrylics off. So that has totally grown out, and so my nails have grown to a nice even length. They're still super short, way shorter than I normally ever have them, but they are nice and healthy, so I figured get some color back on there for the first time in a while. I'm just putting this chip skip on first just to keep the color lasting longer, since I'm not using gel today because I'm not sure 100% how beautifully the color is going to turn out or the design, so I'm not necessarily committed to 2 weeks of it. I do have everything to do at home gel manicures, so I will show you guys that another day. Today is just going to be regular polish, so any old polish will do. I'm using red, white, and blue, so I'm going to start with red and just alternate. I think I'm going to do red and blue as the base for my nails, and I'll use white for the design. I will show you my really easy hack for nail art if you don't have any skinny nail brushes or the type of polish that has the little brush in it or pen for you to make designs with. Not a problem. All you need is actually a ballpoint pen, and I will show you once we get to that point. So I just have random scratch paper that has like some writing on it as a barrier in between so I don't paint my computer. And so just alternating red fingers here. Of course, doing the left hand is always easiest since I'm right-handed. So doing the right hand is a little shaky, and I have to keep that in mind when I do designs. If I'm doing a design using my right hand, doing it on my left hand, I could get pretty fancy with it, but then I have to think to myself, can I replicate this on my right hand, doing it with my left hand? And if the answer is no, then I probably should stick to a simpler design and not do that design. And normally I would keep a little Q-tip nearby with some acetone on it in case I have any mistakes or get any on my skin like this, but I don't have that handy, so I wasn't prepared, but I'll just go ahead and use another nail to get that off. And honestly, I'm not too worried about it because the blue is going to be darker than the red, so it'll cover it up on my other nails if it shows. So I do one coat at a time. I am going to do 2 coats of the red, but I'm going to wait until it dries a little while I do the blue. So then I'm going to grab my blue polish. And yes, I am going over this again because it didn't come out evenly, but I am still counting this as 1 coat because I just like to get 1 even coat, and then I will still do a 2nd coat on top of that. If you have not done this before, I would maybe recommend not doing it on top of your electronics. Maybe use a more stable surface. Maybe don't do it in bed. Maybe use a table and put something larger under your hand to, prevent any spillage or damage from nail polish. But you can kind of be the judge based on your comfort level and experience with doing your own nails. Now fixing the blue, I'm making sure to use a blue nail because if that gets on the red, that might still be visible even when we go put the second coat of red on, so be careful with that. If there's another pro tip that I can give you here, it is to make sure that you have everything already out and next to you so that you don't have to dig for it when you already have polish on your nails. So have all your colors and top coat and base coat and your ballpoint pen for your designs out, and maybe get, you know, any coffee or water, anything that you want to have next to you. And also make sure if you think you're going to need to use the bathroom, do that. Wash your hands before you get started, because inevitably, while my nails are drying, I will always get the urge to use the restroom. And then you just have to wait till they're dry so you don't ruin them. So that's another pointer. And then once we have our 2 coats of red and blue, we're going to want to wait about a minute for these to dry before we start working on any white design over the top. I would say 1 or 2 minutes before we start a design. Okay, so red and blue are done, and we're going to wait for these to dry and start with our white design. Okay, now for the fun part. I told you just all you need is a ballpoint pen. For the design, I'm going to use white to make my design. And what I'm going to do is when I open this up, I'm not going to scrape any of the polish off. I'm going to let a big gob of polish fall onto this paper here. And I'll do that a couple times. Just be careful not to rest your hand in that gob of polish and you'll be good. And then we're going to take the tip of the pen. You can see there's already some white polish on there from last time I did something similar. And just lightly dab it in here. And I'm going to try to do a stripe if I can keep my hand steady. I'll do a couple of stripes. And then on the blue, we'll call them stars, but they're just going to be polka dots. And just dot this on. And now for the magic part is if I can do this left-handed on the other hand. So let's see, bear with me. Okay, so I already messed this up, and actually the phone fell down while I was doing it, so you didn't see. So it's going to be a really thick stripe, but that's okay because I got a little less than straight, so it's going to be a thicker stripe on this hand. And my Virgo OCD self is going to have to come to terms with that, unless I want to start this nail over, which I might. And the dots, I'm pretty confident I can hopefully do here without an incident. All right, so I'm going to try not to press my luck too much here and just leave it at that. Okay, so because I'm crazy and I can't let this go with having a thicker stripe on this hand than on this hand, I am going to try to fix it, and I'll show you a little hack to do that, which is to basically just go back in between with the red using the pen instead of taking off the white and starting over. I'm going to put a couple dots of red on my paper here, and I'm gonna try to fix it that way. Now again, doing this with my left hand, so not ideal, but I'm gonna get the red on here, and the phone fell down again, but looks a little bit more even now. And the last step is top coat. I always wait a couple minutes for the design to really dry before I do the top coat. When I start to do the top coat, I go on all the nails that don't have any design first. And I go back and do the ones that have design at the very end. I just really don't want to smudge, our hard work. So give it a good couple minutes before you even start with the top coat. Make sure all the nails are really dry. And then, like I said, I'm skipping over the ones with the design for now just to give them even extra time. And then I will go back over the ones that have a design, cross my fingers that they're totally dry. I go kind of slow on this because if I see that it's starting to smudge, I will stop immediately, but it looks okay. And I do it real carefully. I'll go a little bit thicker with the top coat on these because they need a little more protection, and I don't want to have to pull the brush too hard and risk smudging the design. And that's it. You are done. You got some cute nails for 4th of July weekend. And of course you can do this with any color combination. Stripes and polka dots are a really good, easy beginner design for nail art, and was really good for me to get back into the swing of things. Thanks for joining me.